everyone, and welcome to the Todo Latino Show. Today's guests are the stars of the new movie Maya, available now on all streaming networks. First, we have my good friend Basilio Cerdan Jr., who has played Ezekiel in this role, and actress Isabella Feliciana, who is Maya herself. Welcome, both of you, to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so I'm a huge fan on origin stories, so I would love to know your origin story. What's your family like? Your upbringing? De donde tú eres? Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised Long Beach, California, to two parents and older brother. And yeah, I guess origin of like acting, I always wanted to do it, and it never felt possible. I think especially when you come from like a small place, like, I mean, Long Beach is big, but it's small. And so I don't know any actors from Long Beach. It wasn't until later I got older that I was like, oh, like Carmen Diaz went to Poly.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg went to Poly. But yeah, so I was really...
Prime acting examples, by the way. No,
Snoop Dogg, yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
See him in that Big Time Rush episode?
Yeah.
But I was so lucky. So my mom is Mexican, my dad's white. Mexicans, we all go to Catholic school, I feel. So I went to Catholic school my whole life. And I was so lucky because St. Barnabas, my Key through 8 school, had a theater program. And I remember in first grade, everyone got pulled out of first grade class or math or whatever we were doing to go like try on costumes for a play. And I was like, I'm sorry, how did I not know about this? We gotta leave class to go perform and everyone stares at you? I was like, sign me up. So
she's like, I like the attention.
Yeah, honestly.
This is really cool.
Mm-hmm. So then it was actually probably because my mom wasn't there. My mom's, she's retired now, but she's a colonel in the military intelligence for the Army.
Oh.
So she was deployed when I was in the first grade. So that's probably why I wasn't signed up, because she probably would have been all over that.
No.
But so second grade, my mom's back in town, signs me up, I do a musical, and then I'm hooked. Then I went to St. Joseph's High School, which is all-girls school, and I did musicals all throughout there, and at the all-boys school, St. John Bosco. Went to college, and I was like, I want to do this. And I just got really lucky with this program called AGB and got an agent. And now I'm here doing this amazing podcast with you guys.
Okay, so it was an all-girls school, so I'm curious, is it like Shakespeare? Like, it was like the reverse of that? Like, did the girls have to play guys and the...
So we had the all-boys school. So it was...
Oh,
it was
okay.
a partnership. It was
It's
like a movie.
It was like a reason why I wanted to go there, and I made my parents fork up that money for it, was because my brother went to the co-ed school, but they only did one musical a year. And if you went to the all-girls school, you got to do 2 musicals and 2 plays, because the all-boys school, you would do it at both.
Yeah.
So I was doing shows constantly, and I think that was like the best training, was like that high school theater.
So you sing too?
I do sing.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
What was like the first role that you booked that made you go all screamy? Like, and I don't mean besides this one. I mean, like there's always that one, you audition, you get behind the whole camera thing, and
I don't know if it was necessarily a camera role, but it was definitely when I was doing theater at Bosco, which is the all-boys school. My first ever lead was Adelaide in Guys and Dolls. And that was just, like, the coolest thing. I remember, like, shaking.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows this feeling of, like, where you go up to see the cast list and you have no idea. I'm, like, getting nervous now talking about it. But, yeah, that was, like, we always call it, like, when you, like, drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Like, theater is the most, like, addictive drug, they say.
It's the most impressive one to do. I mean, you can't mess up in theater. It's not like, like
it's
regular
not like a
film.
redo.
Yeah, they don't sit there and go cut. Like, you're live for those, 1-2 hours, and you got to put your best performance out there, like, every day.
That's the beauty of it. That I feel like every time it comes out a little bit different. I did not musical theater, but I did theater in community college, so I know that feeling of, like, I mean, you can't mess up, and, like, yeah, the feeling of going up to the list and seeing if you made it into the role you want, it's nice.
Basi, creator, I mean, you originally acting, like, that's what you wanted to do, is acting.
Yeah, definitely.
But then you went to the creator field, and now you're full-time acting. What's it like, man? Like, you're now at a premiere for a movie.
Yeah, no.
Like, what is it like? What was the transition like for you to be able to go, like, I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this now?
Definitely it's something different than obviously making social media videos. But, like, Izzy, like, I can kind of relate when you're, like, waiting to go see the list. But me with sports, it was, like, making the team. So I was never very artistic, like your story, I'm sorry. But it was, like, very sports and, like, school stuff like that. And then I jumped into the social media, and I would always go to events, like red carpet events. But it would never be for something I did. It was like for other projects or for other films. But since the beginning, it's always been acting. I started TikTok, did skits. I could have done like Get Ready With Me's. I could have done unboxing, reaction videos. But it was skits because I wanted to do acting.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I didn't know how to get into acting world. Like, I don't know how to get a manager, agent, auditions. But little by little, my old manager, he really helped me and guided me to the acting world. And luckily, he's been getting me some parts. I've been doing the work. I've been going to class, master classes, scene studies. Right now, I'm studying Meisner technique, and it's just, I'm getting all the tools to be a better actor.
Would you say it's a lot different being a content creator and then going into acting, or is it kind of similar?
Yes, definitely a big difference. But there are some things that I did it as social media that helped me, like being in front of a camera. I'm not nervous to be in front of a camera. And also I know how my face looks in certain expressions, because you do a TikTok, you record your face, and then you watch it again just right there. You're like, my eyebrow doesn't look right. So I go more. So it's like small little things that you take from social media creation to the acting world. But obviously, acting is just a whole complete different art that you have to learn.
You did amazing for being your first role.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I was super nervous. I was really nervous, but it was great.
Really cool. I'm actually curious. And we'll get into the movie. So for those of you, for those who are listening who don't know, so Maya is the movie that's raising awareness on key social issues such as negative effects of domestic abuse at home, dangers of alcoholism and drug abuse, child abuse, and child trafficking. It's your story from the movie. It's, 15-year-old, your mom is the one that's having the alcohol issue. She's being abused at the time. And, with a boyfriend, which is a huge issue with domestic violence, especially in the Latino community. People can argue it all they want. And then you're lured into sex trafficking. And so there's a lot of issues, we talk about like grooming and things that take part of that process. What was the auditioning process for both of you? Because obviously, you have to go on either Backstage or some of these other sites to try to find these roles. Was this a role that was approached to both of you, or did you both find it and then you went through like the audition process? And you're gonna probably have to get closer to the mic. Yeah. Was this a role that you found, or was it a role that was presented to you by like your agent or your manager and so forth?
Okay, so I kind of have a crazy story.
Go for it.
I was interning at a manager's office for Valerie McCaffrey. And, I would see these submissions and all these auditions. And, like, a lot of the time I would, like, just screenshot one, send it to my agent, say, oh, like, can I go out for this? So it was a great time of, like, learning what was, like, currently being, like, cast and auditioning and stuff like that. But I saw this role for Maya, and I was like, oh, like, that's an interesting topic. Like, that sounds heavy and dark, and that was something that I was really interested in going into, coming from, like, a comedy background.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, just, like, send a photo of yourself, like, just using our email. And she's like, I'm her friend, like, we can figure it out, like, just send it in. So I did it, thinking nothing, and then I got an audition. So I was like, oh, my gosh. So then I coached it with a dear friend, Blake Kevin Dwyer, if anyone needs a coach. He's amazing. And sent it in, thinking nothing was going to come from it. And then, sure enough, I got a call back, which I denied, because the shoot dates were during my finals week and during my graduation. I was like, I have to graduate. Like,
yeah.
This is a big moment. And I know for my brother who graduated during COVID, it was like such a bummer, like, to miss that opportunity. And, like, I'm a straight A student. Like, that was very important to me. And so I said no. And then Julia, our director, called back, and she's like, no, like, we need her to do it. So Val, the manager I was interning for, was like, just, like, go, like, see what happens. Like, your agents will be so proud, like, if you do book something. I was like, okay. So I go. And it's all improv. So that scene in the movie where she's waking up after having sex for the first time, unwanted sex, I improvised that in the callback. And I just remember crying. It was really cool feeling. Yeah. Cool feeling in the sense of, like, something. There's moments when you're acting where it's so authentic, it feels like magic. And that was, although it's not a magical moment, the feeling of, like, what I just did was, like, it's the Kool-Aid. I was like, I want to just keep doing that. And what was amazing was Julia allowed for us to improv and stuff like that. So I ended up booking it. I had to call my agents. I was like, surprise. And they were, really proud of me. And then I just did it. So
this was such a strong message in the movie. I want to know how you prepared for the role.
Yeah. So a lot of it was listening to podcasts. And there's a bunch out there where these women are telling their stories, hoping to reach other people.
Domestic abuse and the specific issue of like trafficking and so forth.
These women who have been formerly trafficked, and they just say their stories, and they're all very different, but currently there is the issue of social media. And so more and more you're seeing stories like that. But I would listen to podcasts on the way to work or to set. I also did a lot of research just in general beforehand. I think coming from like a theater background, I'm used to doing like, the Uta Hagen, 6 Steps, all that jazz. And so things like that, just like getting to know Maya's like personality. But I think the biggest prep was like for, the really intense scenes. So I had a playlist of like called Maya of like different songs. A lot was like Phoebe Bridgers, and a mixture of like the scenes. Sometimes the authenticity came from like my personal life, what was going on. And other times I was dropped in as Maya, and I was, upset and crying over what she was experiencing, and me as Maya in that moment. So it was always like in between those two moments. But the prep for all the personal like substitutions, which like a lot of actors would be like, you can't do that. But when you're desperate, that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
A lot of that came from just like acting class and like journaling exercises. So yeah.
Very cool. Basi, what about you?
Me, for the audition, I actually got it referred from my friend, Richmond. You know Richmond?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richmond. Actually, Julia told Richmond if he had any friends that were actors and they were specifically Latino. And we had the group of the Compa Boys, so they referred us, and then we all submitted submissions. And then I got a callback, went to the callback, and she, same thing, just improvise the whole situation. It was a part where, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. But it was a part where Patricia gets in the car with me, and we're just driving to go get Maya, basically. Yeah. And she was like, improvise it, improvise how you would feel, improvise your breathing, improvise just everything. And then I did it, and she liked it. She was like, yeah. And then...
I'm not gonna not to take the serious side out of that, but that scene's funny to me.
No,
because the fact that what you say in the film, that's what you.
What did I say?
Because I don't know if I don't want to do. I don't know if I want to do spoiler alerts, but spoiler alert. It's just funny because you're like, oh my god, like I could have killed you, and it was just one of the scenes where you were just like, bro, like I know him, bro. He just did the same exact thing I would see him do in real life. Like it was it's just funny because you can see like the emotion that's coming out of you, and even throughout the film, because your role is kind of, it's interesting. It's somebody who's dealing with obviously problems at home. Okay. What did you have to do in essence to kind of get ready for your role, to kind of be the supportive friend who's got issues at home, and at the same time at the end has to, do what he has to do in order to get Maya kind of out of that, that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. For the whole movie in general, it was the same thing. It's just doing research, getting more aware of the topic that's like underneath our noses, but nobody seems to pay attention to it. So it's just getting more aware of that. And it's also about like just speaking to friends, because my role is more about like supporting Maya and just being there for her. And it was just talking to friends about how to be a better friend. So I will also talk to, there's people in my life that I know that have gone through this, and I asked them, what could I have done, or what could somebody have done to just back you up in this? And that's basically it.
Did you encounter any challenges throughout the filming of Maya?
Oh, definitely. When I first arrived to set, it was just, I've never been on a set that big, and the only thing I've done before was like a small short film that never came out. So this was my first big thing. I arrived and there was like trailers and there was like crew walking everywhere and actors and everybody had like their headset, and I was like, oh my god, what did I just get myself into? So I walked in and I was just shaking, but little by little, like as I was saying in the Q&A, that you do the scenes, but you do the scenes so many times that the first time, yeah, you're nervous, but by the end of it, like you have it like.
About how many times does each scene take? Like.
Well, it depends what the director, what the director sees. Because sometimes you can do a take, you're like, I don't think I liked it, but the director's like, no, that's exactly what I was looking for.
What was your most annoyingest take? Like the one thing that just for whatever reason it just kept going the wrong way, and you had to keep doing it over and over again.
There was the night at the mansion. I don't know if you were there, but we had it was freezing cold, and I already have like I don't eat enough protein. Like right now I'm cold, so I'm freezing, and I'm in like these cloth shoes that they're soaking wet because the grass is wet. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm getting trench foot. Like it was rough, but that wasn't even the annoying part.
Hot? Oh, I'm not allowed to spoil.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Come on.
Well, everyone should have seen it already, but that wasn't even the annoying part. The annoying part was we were under this huge time constraint of the sun was coming up, and we needed to film, and this dang bracelet kept breaking off, and I was supposed to rip it off and throw it at him. And we had multiples, but you would put it back on and it would just like fall apart. And it was like the last one we had. So that was just like the only thing that I was like, oh my gosh, this dang bracelet. Like that was my only beef was the bracelet.
What about you? What was the one scene that got you like, coño, do we have to do this one more time? Like, ¿cuántas veces? I think I got it right the first time. Why are we doing this again?
No, honestly.
Oh, yours
I
was
wanted
smooth.
to be there, so I was my time.
Like,
okay,
you didn't care.
The film. How long did it take? 15 days.
Yeah.
Okay, 15 days, and then I was there for like 4.5 days. So I wanted to be there more. I wanted to be there. So I was like, whatever, how many takes you need me to take, I'm here.
15 days actually doesn't sound that long. It sounds like.
No, it's
that long? Very short.
Yeah, that was.
It's very short for a movie that length, which was kind of what was it like
amazing.
to work with Patricia Vasquez? Like,
oh, she's the best. She's the best. Even like as an actor and then as a human, like outside of the acting, she's every time there would be cut, we would just talk about life, just talk about where we're from, what we do, what's our aspirations and stuff like that. Just getting to know each other, and she's like, she would like guide me también in a way to be like, okay, how do you feel right now? How's the scene looking for you? We would just have that constant communication. She's the best. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she like that first week was all the apartment shots. And I remember it was just like a boot camp because it was her and John Franco. Like they were like, we're just gonna improv like into the scene. We're gonna improv like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna start cameras rolling, or even cameras rolling on the improv, and like just learning from those two. And like you said, like she just was like so open about giving advice and like wanting to know about us. And I was like, I'm just a little nobody, and you're asking me how my day is. Thank you.
Was there a lot of improv that happened where they took some of the clips that were like not supposed to be scripted and that you guys just did naturally, like in any of the scenes?
I believe so. I genuinely can't remember now like what even was script and what wasn't, but I do remember Julia making edits to the script as we went. So things were constantly changing. Oh, and then the scene, you know, when it's Raquel's character and I remember the person's name, Sam, but I don't know her character's name. But it's where Maya's like, you know, in that halfway house, like, you know, trying to get better. That was all improvised and written on the spot because our actress, who was like the star of that like scene, tested positive for COVID. So that lovely, lovely actress who played Raquel, who's from Cerritos, I see her at the grocery store all the time. She just was given this monologue the day of and did it and killed it. And some of it was improvised because how do you like just know a whole monologue in this moment? But that was an improv moment that made it in.
And I think it made it a lot more natural too, because I can tell that a lot of the scenes like came from your guys' heart. Like I was emotional in that theater with you guys, but like I can feel the improv in the script. That's why I was asking if any of it just came out in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
And that's credit to Julia, because some directors, they will be like, no, what's on the script is what I want you to say, but Julia really let us play with it and let us let it just come out from within us, and that's like, I feel like that's the best acting you can put on the screen.
I guess you guys talking about the improv. What was it like when you first read the script? Because this is a strong movie, like, and so there's a lot of topics on there that even when we post this, there's going to be a lot of trigger alerts and so forth that we're going to have to put on there. What was like when you first read what was going to take place to Maya on the script side? Because you knew the premise,
Mm-hmm.
But what happened when you saw the script?
I think I was interested in knowing just personally where the boundaries were on like what we were showing. So a lot of it was talking to, because I didn't want to do like nudity or any of that, and talking to Julia, like just learning that it was gonna all be implied. I was like fully on board with that. But in addition to that, I think just reading it, I found it as like an interesting challenge that I really wanted to do. But also, it was just heartbreaking. And I think watching it is even doubly down because then you have the music and everything on top of it. But yeah, heartbreaking. So Julia's a wonderful writer, and she does so much research before she does something. And I had also watched her short film with Angie Lost Girls that eventually was also like made into a movie. So I knew it was going to be very like well made and tasteful. Like it wasn't going to be. I feel like some film nowadays like shows nudity just to show nudity, and it's not for the plot really.
Yeah.
And this was all for the sake of the cause. Like, what can we do to raise awareness? It wasn't about no egos, nothing. Like it was, yeah. So I was very intrigued to just get involved.
I would agree with you because I was watching programs just this past weekend. There's some scenes in there that I'm just like, why? Like it was not necessary to even be in there. It doesn't even.
Sometimes it's not necessary because now that you mentioned that, I don't even think that.
I feel like the whole series, The Boys, just is unnecessary at this point. Like, what's this? It's just if you watch that, if you haven't watched that on Prime, it is insane. Like I feel the writers are doing it on purpose just to turn around and get. What you call it was strong. With
Griselda?
Not Griselda. Griselda was just if you guys haven't seen Griselda, you have to definitely see Griselda.
Euphoria?
But Euphoria, like Euphoria was really strong.
But it was a really good show, so you don't think some of
the
things...
Do you feel, I mean, do you, just out of curiosity, because you as actors, you start getting into that frame thought where you start working towards those type of roles where it can get intense. Do you feel like you are both kind of prepared if you had to go that, and what would be the mindset you'd have to cross in order to kind of transition into that type of split?
Well, for me right now, I just did my first film, so I'm still like getting into this, but honestly, I'm open to it, but I just feel like I need to become a better actor for it.
Yeah, you kind of season out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, you're just like a stale chicken.
No so you want to do more acting for
sazón, no tiene sazón ni nada. You're still waiting to put some seasoning on
Are
the
you
chicken.
hoping to get into acting and kind of leave your content creation life behind?
Definitely. Luckily, I have been in some projects after Maya that are still like in post-production. But this is like what I've always wanted to do. I feel like this is my route. Si Dios quiere, this is my route.
Do you still post?
Every other day. So I used to do twice a day, but now it's like every other day.
Yeah, I couldn't get you off the feed. It was like at one point I was just like, coño. Like,
yeah, and then now I get comments like, bro, I haven't seen you in like 2 years.
Yeah,
actually, you haven't been popping up on my TikTok, and I was like, do I still follow him? And I went to check him like I do. Yeah.
He used to come out on my feed like all day long. Everything was going viral. I'm like, coño, por favor. Like, can I get something of awareness of something else? No, it was just Bossy making jokes and shit. So it was really cool. No, but I mean, like, do you miss it? Like, I'm only asking this because like actor's life is a different life than a like a UGC person, or a content creator. Like content creator, you're constantly on the horn. You're constantly having to think on stuff. Whereas actor is very project based. The level of work that you have to put into it in order to be able to get the script, to be able to relate to the script and be able to put it out, is different. Which one? I mean, I know you want to go into the acting, but do you miss the content side of it?
Yes, I do, obviously, because it's how I started and the reason why I'm even here and doing acting. But I also want to carry that to the acting world. So right now, like I'm also not only like acting, but I'm also writing my own stuff to produce it, like, and something greater than my skits that I've done before. So it's like I'm still taking that, but instead of just on TikTok, I'm going to do like films, short films, like, feature films. longer length films.
We need to talk about that. I'm starting to write too.
Are you?
Yeah, let's collab.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Todo Wafi will distribute
Yeah,
it.
and then
Yes.
Then we set it all. I mean, is that something? I mean, you said you've been working on social media, and so is content creation something that you've kind of aspired on your end as well, or?
Oh gosh, I hope no one finds my TikTok. But I'm
Which
currently
will now happen
I know.
because you just said that.
I'm gonna have to go delete
Like,
things.
yeah, right?
But I mean, I think it would be so fun. I think content creators are so brave because you have to be so vulnerable. And like, I'm now running a social media for another podcast, and like, seeing some of the comments, I'm like, what the heck?
That's tough.
It's and I get angry, and it's not even me. And so I think I would love to do it. I am putting it out here for 2024 that I'm going to take that seriously this year, because it's so fun, and it's just like a level of bravery that I have not ventured into, and I applaud you all who do that. 2024, I'll do it. I'm going to start. I would love to.
And
Well, I
going
mean, you
back
got a
to
good
the-
coach. Look, you guys got cross coaching.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, exactly.
You got
Whatever
you
need.
got a content creator that can teach you about content creating, and you got like a like a regular like trained actress who can go into all the different that's interesting. It's a good. It's
That's a
definitely
good
a good
connection.
good
Yeah.
collab to be able to do that. Not to mention if you're both writing stuff, you never know what kind of projects you can both put together.
Exactly.
Going back to our original question, is there anything you wouldn't do in your acting career?
That's a great question, because I feel like at this stage I'm like a yes man. Like, I'll say yes to anything. Even like, okay, there's a series called The Court of Thorn and Roses. It's a book series. I don't know if anyone's read it, but it's amazing. And I was a big reader growing up. My ultimate dream, probably this is the reason why I want to be an actor, is I want to be in a book to movie adaptation or book to TV series more than life. And that even has like some very sexual things in it. But because it's like A Court of Thorn and Roses, I would totally do it. So nothing's really off the table. It just, again, has to be tasteful, and it has to be, something that I'm passionate about. But
Dad's listening to
I
this
know, my
going like,
dad's-
"Coño, pero qué pasa?" I don't know what
No
I
que
created.
no.
yeah. So, yeah, I think up next I would just like to book a job. Because,
Yeah.
Post-strike, like, it's been slow. And
I can imagine. I was going to ask you both that question. Like, what did you have to do? Because Maya was created before, right? Before all the. So, like, what did you all do? I mean, he probably sat there doing content but what did you do during that process?
I have 4 other jobs.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
Tired. I'm so tired.
She's like, I'm tired. Por favor, somebody help. Get me a job. Please book me for something. 'Cause-
He's about to
Yes.
get the 5th job.
Yeah.
But the 5th one is the actor job, but that just, doesn't happen often. So I'm also a substitute teacher, which I started that after doing Maya. When I do kindergarten through 12th grade. So it's a
Yeah.
lot, but it's fun.
That's draining.
Yeah,
They
but when
suck
you
the
play,
souls out of you, man.
some of my drives are just silence because you get so overstimulated. And then I also work in a restaurant, and I'm not even a server. Like, I host and then I bus tables. Like, after this, I'm gonna go bus tables, which it definitely builds character, and I love the people I work with. But when you have these dreams, sometimes it can get a little.
What are the
Yeah.
other 2 jobs?
So I babysit, and then I work for the Wizards of Waverly Place
Oh, nice.
podcast for a podcast.
Dude, that's
a
like
lot.
the actor's story right
That
there.
is.
You're like,
She's like,
Yeah.
I'm a doctor, I'm a practicalogist, I'm a dentist, and I run that little flower shop downstairs. Like, it was just like, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
I'm a busy bee. My dad always calls, he's like, you're Izzy Bee, because you're a busy bee. And
That's cute.
The
That's
puns.
lots of
That's a
puns,
dad pun.
but I mean,
Yeah.
the goal is just to act.
Yeah.
But the world right now, it's expensive.
Yeah. No, you ain't lying.
The world right now requires you to have 10 jobs, if anything, not 5, 10.
Mm-hmm.
I have this one, and yeah, I'm ready to probably take about 3 more. I'm gonna become a content creator. I'll start doing videos
Do
with
it.
Basi, and my content will just be dad puns.
dude, I mean, nobody knows, because I didn't know from social media that it was gonna create the buzz it did, and everybody asked me like, I don't know what I should do. I don't know what route to take, and I'm like, just post. Sometimes I'm like, I don't like to show my face on camera. Okay, you don't need to show your face. You can show like literally your POV.
Yeah.
You never know when like your social media will pop off and change literally your whole life. I was
How do
blessed.
you
I'm
handle the
blessed.
negative comments in your comments?
I don't read them.
You don't read them? Okay.
No, I used to read them. And then there came a point where it was like, I'm just doing this to myself. Like,
Did it
be
ever
like, oh,
really
you're not
hurt
funny.
you when you would be like scrolling and reading?
Hurt me? I don't think so. I mean, I was born in a Latino household, so
He's
I have thick
prepared.
skin.
I was
I
about
have
to say he's
thick skin,
prepared.
yeah.
He came in gangster to the
Definitely. So they don't really affect.
No.
So now I just don't read them. But there's so many positive, but us as humans, I feel like we just look at the negative and we just focus on the negative.
Yeah.
ones. But that's something I need to fix.
And I'm sure in the beginning it had to be like there were some people who were just mocking and all kinds of stuff, and then
Yeah, I mean,
that's just
it
normal.
comes with. Yeah.
But I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have heard, if you don't have any haters, you're not doing it right in life.
I got a lot of haters, so I must be doing something right because I get comments all over the place. I posted on something the other day, and I'm still responding to the comments of people who were like didn't like what I had to say. Not gonna stop me, but it's one of those things where after a while though, I did just kind of like I'm not even gonna look at the comment section because it's just not even worth answering back at this point. So, but yeah, which one has the biggest burnout? Like acting or content?
Como burnout.
Like when
Like
you were
tires
on
you
when
wore?
you because you were on set for 4 days. Which one made you? I mean, then don't give me the okay. I was so excited.
It's good. It's true
and
though.
yeah, but I mean, at one point it had to, like you got tired, right? Like you were tired on set.
But I feel the same way. It was like I would like do anything to just keep doing that. I would do it every single day and like be so happy. Like I mean, I was talking earlier about being so cold, but I was like, drench me in water. I will do anything. Like
Drench me in
like,
water.
I will stand in the
just throw
cold.
water. I will take all of the pain. Just throw me
Yeah.
in the fire. I'll step on coals.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, burnout, but you also have to think about like our Steadicam operator, Nick. He is carrying this. I don't even know how heavy that is. But the crew, when you see them work, and when we go home, they're still there and they're still working. So
packing up and doing everything that because once they say, oh, okay, you guys wrap, that's it. You guys go.
Yeah.
and so many people would kill to like just
Definitely.
be a content creator. But it doesn't take away obviously from like how hard like content creators and actors work. But I think that's why we have a hard time saying like what our burnout is, because it does get like a lot of backlash, and you gotta say like qualify it with
I
we're
feel
so
like
grateful.
they both would have a burnout because I feel like people think content creators have fun all the time, but I mean, I think it's exhausting posting 2 videos a day, don't you think? Like thinking about the idea, filming it, messing up, doing it again,
The editing it,
The
yeah.
editing,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because every day it's like 2 new ideas you have to come up with every day. Like it's not physically tiring, but it's like mentally tiring.
And you
if you're-
scripted everything. Like all your stuff's not prompt
if you
too.
go
You
through my
would,
notes, like
Yeah,
they're
you're-
all like
I remember when we had that conversation, you were talking about how every single one of your videos is a scripted video, which is kind of ironic. Like it's kind of weird to think about because when you see those videos, you're like, oh, that's just relatable content. No, but you
there's
actually
thought
like,
behind
yeah,
it, yeah.
like there's a thought process and writing behind it, which is, I mean, that helps you though in creating like films now because you're doing that just for even your UGC. I'm dumb. I literally just watch something out there and then I'm just like, I'm gonna recreate it. My son records it and then
There you
whatever
go.
happens. I get my 2 views and I'm like, yeah. And then both comments like, you suck, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm just like, I'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just to have that in there. But really excited.
No, but it's good to take your breaks. I haven't done acting long enough to be like, oh, I'm tired of acting, and I don't think it will ever happen. But social media, you do have to take your breaks because it is you get mentally tired, and if your mind's not right, then everything else is trash. Your life outside of social media, your relationships with others. If your mental's not there, then you're not there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like sorry now I'm
No,
the
you can
interviewer.
ask. Hey, this is
Yeah, it's an open table.
Do you feel like you have to like watch a lot of TikTok to make a lot of TikToks?
That's
Does
a
that
good
make
question.
sense?
So, I post and I'm just like probably an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours max on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So I just post and then I just scroll, but it's
It's a
never
lot of
about like
time.
the same like my content kind. Like it's
Mhm.
mostly about soccer, like fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with like my skits or like being Hispanic Latino skits.
so you're not doing it
It's
for
just-
ideas purposes. You're doing it just to kind of
Just to
enjoy-
get and then I'm off the app.
yeah.
I only ask because that is like TikTok. I feel like has destroyed like my brain cells in some aspects. Like just because I'll doom scroll, you know, or I can't get out of bed on my.
What is doom scroll?
Oh my gosh, it's where you're like, you ever do like, you know, when you rot in bed and you
Oh,
just
bed
okay.
rotting. Yeah, bed rotting.
Bed rotting.
Yeah, I've heard bed rotting.
and then you like lay there and you're just like doom scrolling, and I don't know if it's like an anxiety thing or what, but like I freeze and I'm just like I just keep
And you can't
going.
stop, huh? I do it too, and then you feel really crappy after because you're like, I just scrolled on TikTok in bed for an hour, and you're like,
My son runs all our accounts, and I'm assuming he's doom scrolling for days. Like, I just honestly.
No, but TikTok has like, if you're like on the right side of TikTok can be very informative. It's like news. Like sometimes I get news off of TikTok before I get them from like, I don't watch the news.
Sometimes, news sometimes doesn't
I don't
say
even
the
watch the
things
news, yeah.
that you can find on TikTok.
TikTok.
Like, and that's also what's tricky about it is like, I'll keep scrolling because I'm like, there's so much knowledge to learn that's like available like on your phone, but sometimes you have to.
And the algorithm, once you start watching something, it'll keep popping up other videos. So it's like, it's cool because you're like, you always end up on a different side of TikTok. And on the top of it, they have a little stem. I don't know if you've seen it. Like a stem.
Oh,
TikTok.
the stem one?
I
Yeah.
accidentally clicked on it once, and I kept scrolling, and I'm like, why is there all these STEM videos? Like, I've never even looked this up. And then I realized, oh, you just like went into the STEM.
Yeah.
Wait, what is STEM?
You can learn about like all the science stuff. So like I remember learning
okay.
about whales when I was on that one. And it's just like, it's cool.
So I'm gonna pass on that part of TikTok. It's like, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Just throwing out, I'm into like hoof repair videos. You ever seen the one where they're fixing the hoofs a la vaca?
Yes. Oh, they're
Why is that so
satisfying.
addicting?
I also like the earwax
the
videos.
Is like the nail de la.
No, you know the feet of the cows.
Oh yeah, and they carve it.
and
or
they're
like
carving and they're fixing
Yeah.
it. I'm
And
like
the horses too, right?
hooked.
Yeah,
Is that the
those
same
horses.
thing?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they have them for the horses, but for whatever reason, the cow ones are just so fascinating.
Have you
Well,
guys
it's so
seen the guy
sweet.
that cleans carpets?
Yes.
Like,
And
oh,
everyone's like,
yeah,
just throw it
yeah.
away.
I'm always
It's, like,
interested to
completely
see.
different
I'm
once
always
he's
interested
done.
to see like, okay, what's the carpet look like before? I'm always disappointed if it's like some bland ass carpet.
Yeah.
Like if it's some brown carpet, like why did you bother?
Yeah. Have you seen well, it used to be big back then. When they would fix like a broken piece of furniture with ramen.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
ramen,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
I
I
remember
like
that
the
one.
now they do like the easy crafts or easy fixes, and everyone's like, this is not an easy craft. Like, what is the point of this?
So I gotta spend 4 hours trying to fix something that I could have done it in 3 just by having somebody.
My
repair the
favorite
thing.
one is the people that clean the hoarding houses. Like that, they're like they do it for free. They're like, come with me to clean this person's house.
I would not be cleaning anybody's house for
But
free.
they get they get views, so it's for content, and I like watching those. Those are.
Do you think they make my
Interesting.
money? Bossy doing hoarding,
What do you think?
cleaning.
I mean, depends on the views. You can get like Rafael, he said 2 views, then it's nothing.
I do have a financial question when it comes to
What's up?
that, and then we'll end with Maya because your director's gonna kill us. And first of all, let me before I even move on to that question, Julia she's done a phenomenal job with this. As you guys are saying, and I've had a conversation a couple of times with her, and you can feel the passion that she has for this topic. And the same with Patricia. Patricia's working on this topic for quite some time, so it's like they obviously got together to be working on that. So I just want to give a major shout out to them for putting a movie together that I thought was, extremely powerful, especially when because The Sound of Freedom is another one of those movies where you can look at it and you're just like, wow. And that movie caught me off guard so much that movie and this movie, we had already been talking about Revolución and bringing in, human trafficking as an issue in the forefront to be able to bring awareness to this particular topic. And then I think with Maya, it added another element because there was domestic abuse and, the actual process of somebody dealing with that and then finding an exit in something that was worth, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I think it's really cool to kind of see those two things unite where that we're definitely going to bring into awareness, and the movie kind of gave us the opportunity to do that. And so really cool on that end. Now from a UG, from a content standpoint, how much does a creator earn for a good video on TikTok?
Well, are you the IRS or what?
No. I'm not trying to do your
He's
taxes.
not allowed
I'm
to
just
say that.
I don't know. I'm interested. No, I mean he's not even a creator anymore. So I won't
It depends on the
because
views.
I don't get those kind of views. I'm always interested.
But
She's interested. She's gonna
Okay,
be
let me-
content
I-
expert.
yeah. This
Okay.
is.
let me
good.
explain.
We write it down.
Okay, so let's say TikTok, what I believe it is, it's like a pie. Okay,
Yeah.
the more people that do videos join it's called the beta program. they get a slice of that pie. That's how I think it works. Like the whole, let's say if it was us four, we did videos, the pie will be cut into four, so we all get a big chunk. But if there's like millions and millions, then your chunk, then your slice gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah. Okay.
So at the end of the day, it just depends.
That was about the most useless answer that you could possibly give me, and I appreciate you
Can
for
you
that.
give us at least like maybe
Like
not
a
yours,
range?
what
Range?
you make, but like a range of other?
I don't want to know
influencers?
your whole salary, man. I'm talking about if your video hits like 2 million views.
2 million?
2 million.
Between 15 and 25. 1,500 and 2,500.
Really?
Yeah. If you're in the beta program, you have to like do like other things.
What does
to
it take
join
to
the
be in the
beta
beta program?
Isabella, you and I are starting a
Ooh,
channel.
think,
we're gonna like we need
you know,
to.
we need to
Get on.
I'm telling you.
Get on it, definitely.
We're just gonna like clown, you know.
Yeah.
1,005. But I mean, how many times did you actually hit that threshold? Because I mean, your stuff goes
before the
viral
beta
quite a few.
Yeah, before the beta, because the beta program just got like announced like we're 2024 already, last year. But before the beta program, I would hit that number, but not currency wise. Like I would hit millions of views, but not, it wouldn't be the same.
The monetary. So they
Exactly.
changed it.
They changed.
they
it. So it's
changed it.
better now than
Okay.
it was before.
That's good.
But it's still new, I think.
So what is it gonna take for us to get
Yeah,
that
no,
salary
No, I mean, we're obviously gonna have to turn around and create TikTok videos
every single
Do it.
day?
every day.
Every day, yeah.
Every day. One last question. You know, both of you have worked on this film. It's a pretty powerful film. Obviously, you know, you have friends, you have brothers and sisters. There's a lot of people, you know, who have kids and things like that. What is probably the biggest message that you want to give to any of them who look at this film? Some of them go, eso no va a pasar, but it happens, like on an everyday basis. It happens. What kind of message do you want to give to the people who are about to see Maya or who have already seen it and are trying to kind of digest, you know, that information? I'll start with.
I would say you think it couldn't happen to you, but it definitely could. I remember being 13 and having Kik Messenger because I didn't have an iPhone, but I had an iPod Touch. And I was, my parents are going to kill me. I was fully talking to strangers on the internet. And all my friends were too. We were like 7th grade, 8th grade. And I remember like I had a friend who she fully had to tell her mom what was like going down. And we were all telling her like, no, you should tell your mom because, you know, just weird people on the internet. And then now my fear with my friends that were like older is like Hinge and like all those like dating site things. That is my big fear. And you always think like, oh, well, like not me. That could never happen to me. But it most definitely could. Like, just because
Like
ours
all
was
the time.
coercion doesn't mean that, you know, someone can't spike your drink and, you know, do that too. So just, you know, the awareness of, like, strangers and that it could also be, like, Billy or Ray in the movie, actor Billy. You know, he's nice. He's real nice. And he's like, let me, like, you know, show you that, you know, I went through the same stuff. Like, I could help you out. It's all about awareness and also just like speaking up. I would really like to highlight there's a hashtag going on called Find Ella Jones, and she's 15, met a man online who's much older, and her friends post, you know, her going missing, informed her mom that she was talking to this older man. And you'll see also in our movie, I have 2 friends, and this isn't anything to bash on like children, they're minors.
Yeah.
Gosh, that responsibility must be like tearing them apart. But it's those things that, like, if we can, like, show this movie out to other high schoolers, middle schoolers, I wish there were moments that I had spoken up for my friends who are, like, fully talking to strangers on the internet, and we just got lucky. And you think it won't be me, I'm lucky, and you just don't know. It's why not just be safer than sorry, you know?
No, completely. Boss?
So, yeah, it's a very heavy topic, obviously. There's, like, maybe like 27 million cases detected of child trafficking globally. Now, supposedly that's like 0.04% of the entire whole like cases. So like there's so many millions and millions and millions of cases that go undetected. And that's because either somebody didn't speak up, that's because somebody thought it wasn't going to happen, like as he said. And it's just, if you see something, say something. If you see something that's like odd and strange and it really struck a chord in you, just say something. If nothing comes from it, then nothing comes from it. It's like, oh, it was a false alarm. But you spoke about it. You spoke up about it. So I have like a lot of nieces. I have 3 older sisters, and I have nieces and nephews. And this era is like social media era. Whatever kid has an iPad in front of them, that's like a way that traffickers can contact them in a way, because they're so used to having social media and iPads, and kids that are young have TikTok and Instagram. It's like, I remember when I was young, I didn't have these apps. I didn't even have a phone. So it's like a whole different era where I feel since social media became like huge, so did child trafficking become huge. So if you just see something, say something.
Yeah, report it. Definitely. And you're right about the amount of cases. And we're actually going to be partnering up in Revolucion. And even throughout the year, we have a meeting actually on Tuesday with an organization that actually deals with that. They're currently dealing in Brazil because that's an area that's taking place heavily. But we're actually going to be touching on that topic and bringing that topic to light, especially throughout this year. Not just the child trafficking side of it, but actually even the emotional and substance abuse part of it. A lot of the the issues that are taking place in the community because of the fact that it's our communities that are being targeted specifically for those areas, and not just from here to there, but from there to here too. It's it's one of those type of things. So yeah, this was amazing. I really appreciate you coming in here and talking to us about the movie. If you guys haven't watched it, I watched it on Prime. What are some of the other streaming platforms?
Prime, there is Apple TV, there is Xbox, there's YouTube, there's a whole list. I'm not sure.
A lot of like cable people. I don't know. It's so weird now with cable and like streaming that they also have streaming on their own.
Yeah.
We can rent it kind of basically anywhere. I guess probably the main ones are like Amazon and Apple TV.
I think I got it on Prime.
You can also buy it.
Yeah.
If you want to
Did you
own
buy
it
it?
forever.
Yeah. I'm gonna support the film in some way, shape, or form, and I mean that was the only way to we had the backdoor ability to view it. I was like, nah, I'm gonna, because I didn't get to go to the Q&A because we just have so much to prepare for with the stuff, and then with the premiere, I thought it was really good for them to be able to attend that while we got ready for this interview. So, but really excited. If somebody wanted to follow you, where would they go?
Oh no, my Instagram.
Not your TikTok, because
I'll do it.
obviously, no, I'm just kidding.
My Instagram is at IzzyB, so it's IZZY_BEE_. Or you can just look up Isabella Feliciana. I think I'm the only one. And then my TikTok, I think it's the same thing, but with like a 99 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. I think that's all I have.
Okay. The dance videos on that? Yeah.
Probably from like 2020. Gosh, now I gotta go and like
she's gotta go
delete.
cycle through them.
Yeah.
Basi, you have you have 2 now because of the one that you made for like your acting, specifically for acting.
So I'm gonna give the actor answer. You can search me up at IMDb, Basilio Cerdan Jr. Contact my manager, and we'll get in contact.
Very cool.
Basi Cerdan, Basi 17.
All right, Maya is streaming. Make sure you watch it. It's a very important topic. Be able to talk to your kids about it. Be able to talk to family members, friends. I'm Rafael. Welcome once again. Thank you for tuning in to the Todo Latino Show. You can catch us on at Todo Latino Show and on YouTube. This is going to be on YouTube. This is also going to be on all major podcast streaming networks. I'm Rafael. That is Isabella. I was about to call her Maya. That's Isabella. That is Basi. That is Daisy. And we're out. Thank you.